So when I immigrated here to the United States, my primary goal was just to work, make money, and return to Mexico. But then I wanted to pursue an English certificate because I thought that was going to make my life easier in Mexico. So after going back and forth several times to my home country, I decided to stay in the United States. I also saw that I could more easily be an independent woman here than I could have been in Mexico. So despite many challenges I faced, I focused my dreams and I prioritized my long-term goals. So I enrolled into the ESL classes at Sequoia Adult School. The beauty of it is that at Sequoia Adult School, I met Elizabeth Wills, who introduced me to Upward Scholars, and she planted a seed in me. She asked me if I wanted to go to college. That wasn't even in my mind. She made me dream of having a career in the United States. That was why I decided to stay in the United States, because I started dreaming. Then I was able to transfer to Cañada College and continue my English classes there. And it was time to choose a career path. Remember, at this point, that wasn't even in my mind. And now I had to choose a career. So I started asking people around me about salaries. And that's how I started with psychology. Then I switched to administration. And after so many trials and errors, I decided to get an associate in human resources. I was doing volunteer work and I decided to follow more my heart than a paycheck. Finally, I decided on social work, and that's where I completed my studies. But the plot twist is that now I work as a Spanish coach and a Spanish English interpreter for the Bay Area nonprofits. I struggle a lot financially, and of course, the language barrier was challenging. Supporting my family in Mexico while pursuing my education was financially demanding. Also, something very important is the uncertainty about my future opportunities, especially without a social security number in the United States, was a constant worry. I didn't know how to navigate the school system. And if I want to add another challenge, mental health also, because I didn't have any family members in the United States that could guide me. And even if they were, I come from a family where higher education wasn't a priority. So they wouldn't be able to help me anyways. In Upward Scholars, I found a safe place. They listened to me, they didn't judge me, and they gave me reassurance that I was doing and taking the right decision. They helped me financially with books. They provided me support with transportation, tutoring. They were mentoring me. They helped me practicing my English. I also was given the opportunity to be part of the first cohort of Habla Más Spanish tutors. That was right before the pandemic started. They trained me for several weekends. During the pandemic, Spanish coaching was my main source of income and the only one for a couple of months. About a year later, Upward Scholars invited me to interpret at their Spring Cinco de Mayo event. And then I discovered how much I loved interpreting. So since then, the organization supported me. They gave me advice in every step of the way. They helped me with referrals, and they also helped me to know how to navigate the system, how much to charge, and how to introduce myself. That's how I found my passion. But the beauty of this is that even though I don't work as a social worker directly, I still do work around that area because I help my community, my Spanish monolingual speakers, to get the services that they need in order to success in this country. So I work as a bridge to close the gap between culture and systemic barriers for that community. Each obstacle I face and every milestone I achieve contribute to my personal and intellectual development, shaping me and shaped me into the person that I am today. So to be honest, for most of my life, I felt lost and without a purpose. So obtaining a social work associates made me aware of the broader issues that the community faces every day. It made me reconsider my way of living and the mindset that I had at the time. And besides the professional skills that I was taught, it shaped me into the woman I am today. So without going to school and everything I had to experience, I wouldn't have known that this was something that I could do and that it existed. Now, years later, I consider that I have a purpose in life, a way better income, a better quality of life, and I am content with who I am and what I have. Two of the most important things that have helped me become successful are advocating for myself and for others. And I would also like to highlight the connections I made along the way. You have to surround yourself with people with same interests and that also wants to push you forward and keep going. That's very important.